Welcome to this explainer. Today, I'm putting on my elite football scout hat to break down France's absolute championship credentials, and of course, Kylian Mbappe's rapidly evolving legacy. We've got a seriously fascinating case study here. We're tracking one of the most dynamic teams in global football right now, and figuring out exactly how their absolute superstar operates within a squad already stacked with world-class talent. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's open up the scouting dossier. Here is what's on the agenda for today's evaluation. We'll be looking at tactical rotation, the weather test, chasing records, a leadership comparison between Mbappé and Ronaldo, and finally, my verdict.
Okay, starting off with section 1, tactical rotation and spacing the field. You know, when you have an absolute generational talent on the pitch, the biggest scouting question is always this: how do the other 10 guys adapt to his gravity?
While France comfortably dismantled Iraq 3-0 in Philadelphia, and that game sets a perfect baseline for our tactical review. Even with incredibly heavy expectations weighing on their shoulders, France came out from minute 1 and executed their game plan with just ruthless urgency. They completely dominated possession, controlled the tempo, and systematically picked apart an Iraqi side that frankly really struggled when trying to play out from the back.
Now, I want you to really picture the dynamic rotation in this attacking unit. It's what makes them such a well-oiled machine going forward. It's like shifting puzzle pieces, right? With Dembélé pushing up into a central goal-scoring role, Michael Olise suddenly gets the freedom to drift inside, which actually earned him his 3rd assist of the tournament. Then you've got Bradley Barcola utilized perfectly on the left flank to stretch the defense, while Adrien Rabiot acts as the absolute dominant engine, keeping the whole midfield ticking over without missing a single beat.
But what's really fascinating here is Mbappe's unique positioning. He actually abandons that traditional central striker role quite a bit, choosing instead to drift wide. And why? Because it opens up massive pockets of space for players like Dembélé to exploit. Instead of just camping out in the penalty box, Mbappé wanders. He deliberately pulls central defenders completely out of their comfort zones. Now sure, some analysts out there say they'd prefer to see him make more direct runs in behind the defense. But honestly, his current tactical freedom essentially lets him dictate the spatial geometry of the entire final third. He's like a gravitational pull, drawing defenders in and leaving the center wide open for his teammates.
Moving into section 2, the weather test and professional discipline. Let's analyze team chemistry and how the squad handled some extreme adversity, specifically a massive 2-hour rain delay during that Philadelphia match.
Look, a weather delay isn't just a quick pause in the action. It's a critical test to professional discipline. It requires a very strict physiological procedure just to maintain match rhythm. Think about it. You're soaked in rain, suddenly pulled into the locker room, and you have no idea if you're waiting 10 minutes or 2 hours. To combat this, the French squad immediately went to work. They hopped on stationary bikes, played soccer, tennis, keepy-uppies, literally anything just to stay physically and mentally engaged. And when those 2 hours finally passed, they didn't just casually stroll back onto the pitch. No, they executed a complete, rigorous second pre-match warm-up.
As the broadcast analysts rightly pointed out, these unpredictable stops pose a massive physical threat, especially to slightly older players. If you've been sprinting flat out for 45 minutes and then suddenly stop cold for 2 hours, your lactic acid builds up fast and minor knocks turn into major stiffness. France's ability to seamlessly manage this delay without a single drop in performance is a massive green flag on any scouting report. It shows absolutely elite preparation and incredible backroom staff coordination.
Which brings us to section 3, chasing records and setting global benchmarks. To judge a player's true ceiling, we really have to benchmark our star against the historical greats.
Check this out. Mbappé has scored an absolutely insane 16 World Cup goals in just 16 appearances. Guys, that is a goal-per-game ratio at the absolute highest, most pressurized level of the sport. It's also the 6th time in World Cup history he scored 2 or more goals in a single game. He isn't just participating in these tournaments anymore, he is statistically conquering them.
Just to put that into perspective, let's look at the current landscape of elite strikers. Mbappe's career trajectory is on a direct collision course with Lionel Messi's newly established record. Messi recently pushed his total tally to 18, finally overtaking Miroslav Klose. But right there, breathing heavily down their necks, is Mbappé at 16 goals, now tied with Klose. A lot of us in the scouting community are predicting this could turn into a heavyweight boxing match for the rest of the tournament. One scores, then the other scores, just battling it out for the top of this historic list.
Hitting milestones with relentless consistency is absolutely a key scout rating, and Mbappé is joining some incredibly rare company. Getting to 100 caps for a major nation like France is an immense achievement all on its own. But to mark that exact milestone game with a signature goal, that places him right alongside legends like Klose and Luis Suarez. That hunger to constantly rewrite history, it's a palpable driving force for him.
All right, Section 4. Leadership, comparing Mbappé versus Ronaldo. Let's transition to a crucial intangible metric here, locker room influence, and how Mbappe's specific leadership style compares to veteran stars. Because statistics are one thing, but how does a player elevate the 10 guys standing next to him?
So who really is the most influential player on the international stage right now? This question constantly sparks a really fiery debate within the football scouting community when we try to evaluate overall impact. I mean, are we talking about the player who simply scores the most goals, or the player who dictates the emotional and tactical heartbeat of their entire nation?
Well, some pundits aggressively argue that Mbappe's current form puts him completely out of reach of seasoned veterans. As one analyst bluntly pointed out, Mbappe's influence directly matches his output. He believes he has a massive influence? Sure, but then he backs it up instantly with relentless goal scoring. Meanwhile, the debate rages on that veterans like Cristiano Ronaldo, who recently went 10 major tournament games without a single goal, might be experiencing a bit of a gap between the influence they believe they have in the squad and their actual on-pitch production.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is contrasting these two distinct styles. Mbappé literally drags his team forward with raw, undeniable output, while Ronaldo now leans heavily on elite midfield support and veteran mentorship. Think about it. Ronaldo benefits from arguably the best midfield in the entire tournament. He's got incredible creators like Bruno Fernandes and the exceptional passing ability of Vitinha practically setting the table for him. Mbappé, on the other hand, he plays his own wildly aggressive game, and the rest of the French squad is basically forced to elevate their own play just to match his ruthless standards. He's angry, he's hungry for another trophy, and he is pulling his teammates right along with him, step for step. And finally, Section 5, the final verdict. Having evaluated their tactical flexibility, their discipline through adversity, and their historical dominance, where does this actually leave France? Well, I'll tell you this, France's squad depth is going to be tested to its absolute limits. Their projected path to the trophy is a total gauntlet of top-tier opposition. They are definitely not getting a free pass here. To lift that trophy, they might actually have to go through the Netherlands, then Germany, then Spain, and finally England. In massive knockout games like those, you simply cannot rest a player like Mbappé. Every single tactical adjustment and every ounce of physical endurance is going to be demanded of them.
But here's the catch. Their tactical fluidity and, quite frankly, ridiculous bench depth mean they are uniquely equipped to survive this brutal schedule. When your substitutions include bringing on guys like Marcus Thuram, Malo Gusto, and Ryan Cherki, you aren't just bringing on fresh legs, you are essentially bringing on an entirely new, world-class starting 11. This deep rotation is exactly what allows them to maintain that high-tempo, well-oiled machine we discussed earlier, completely wearing down their opponents over the full 90 minutes.
So it all boils down to this. Can any nation actually break down a squad that boasts 2 starting 11s and a superstar desperately hungry to rewrite history? When you combine that kind of unparalleled squad depth with a generational talent who is actively hunting down Lionel Messi's all-time records, well, you have a truly terrifying footballing prospect. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep your eyes on the pitch and keep questioning what makes the greats truly great. We'll see you next time.